last week on Behind the Gate. Jeffrey Herlings gave us a sharp reminder of just what we'd been missing. The defending MXGP champion winning race 1 at the MXGP of Latvia, but a sighting lap spill resulted in a fractured ankle bone and the bullet facing another spell on the sidelines. Tony Cairoli gave it all he had until this tumble in race 2 dislocated the Sicilian shoulder. His participation here in doubt. Tim Geiser now with a 33-point lead in the standings after taking a 4th consecutive overall victory, despite confusion at the finish line. No such drama in MX2 though, as Jorge Prado produced a Keggins masterclass. Another 1-1 and his lead over Thomas Kirolton is now out to 30 points as we enter the second half of the season. Round 10 of the FIM Motocross World Championship finds us on the hard-packed track of Teutschenthal. A year ago, Herlings, who else, won here. But Geiser's confidence is sky high and he'll be backing himself to tighten his grip on that red plate, despite a supporting cast all starting to believe they can be top of the box. Jago Hitz, the only rider to beat Prado on a Sunday this season, and is emerging as a man for all surfaces. While TKO needs to knock that championship leader out of his stride for the sake of his own title ambitions. Whatever next? This is the MXGP of Germany.
Tonas takes us for a spin around this Talkessel circuit. It's a downhill approach to turn 1. Exit the 90-degree turn over the Foxhole shot line and into Monster Energy Mountain, a short tabletop at the top of the hill. Through one single little dip there, through this sweeping left-hander, you'll see how many ruts there are developing over the course of the weekend. Stepping down into this corner here, big heavy braking bumps as you reach turn 3. Short, sharp climb over the crest. And then we go back across the start straight, 45 degrees, 2 little singles here before we arrive in what will normally be the penultimate corner on this racetrack. Past pit lane, about 100 meters, into this right-hander, a new single on the exit here, more like a scrub jump. Then we have the steep descent through the valley up onto the Monster Energy finish line. And then when the riders land, it's into turn 6. A 180 left. Again, expect there to be a lot of ruts through there. Short little tabletop takes us to a 180 right, turn 7. And as we exit here, small little single through the sand. And then onto this plateau, small little step up through this next sweeping left. You can see a series of singles, small little scrub hill here. And as we land, it's back on the gas. Now you can either triple onto the top or double single, like Arno just did here. Bank to the outside, dropping downhill, through the dip, and then a single to the right-hand side, as you can see, but it's flat to the outside, just to try and switch things up. The second of the Monster Energy jumps, a short little tabletop. This part of the section here now meanders through the valley, a series of 180 lefts and rights. And then this turn here, as we exit and drop down, this is where the wall of noise will be. That will be filled with fans on race day. 2 more singles here, And then eventually we end up on the plateau, through the corner tabletop, and then as we drop downhill, this right-hander takes us back onto the start straight for the riders to start another lap here at Teufenthal.
It all started with a little boy's dream of my father. He never had the possibility to ride a mix himself. He just had the possibility to watch it every Wednesday and Saturday. And he would love to give the opportunity to talented young people to living their dream and to reach their goals in the World Championship. What attracts us the most to bring Henry inside our team is that he's a true German. He has such a big heart and he's a fighter, as all of you guys can see, until the end, really until the finish flag.
Changing to the Kawasaki, it was very easy for me. I tested the bike, then I went training with Mark the first days, and immediately I felt really good on the bike.
Mark's come on board this year and I decided to move to Holland and work with him. It's good. He brings a lot of fun to the side as well as his experience. It helps out on race day quite a lot and brings a confidence, you know, that he's been there and done it, and when you follow his program it gives you that extra bit of confidence that you're doing the right thing.
We have quite much fun together outside of the track as well, but sadly our trainers without Instagram anymore, so not much people know the fun anymore, but it's quite cool still. We're a big family. We go together shopping, whatever, we play PlayStation together. It's a fun group and basically we hang out with each other every day.
Yeah, definitely having fun with the team and having a close connection with the team is definitely, you need to have it, otherwise yeah, you don't want to be here if it's not like that. So this team's like a family, it's good, we always have a laugh, it's always fun, and it's serious when it needs to be, and it's also, when it's not serious, it's fun. So I think that helps achieve better results.
Yeah, I think I'm one of the two girls that is called like team manager. Like 3 years ago we started a team. My father is the team owner, and yeah, he gave me the stamp like, okay Natalie, this is a nice job for you, because it doesn't matter if this is a man's world. I've got my own company beside the team, so if I can do it over there, then I can also run the team. We like to keep it as a family team, which we're having fun, but at the moment that the gate drops, everything is serious.
Yeah, so coming into the season, I didn't specifically have a set goal that I wanted to achieve. I just wanted to enjoy it more after 3 years of injuries, and yeah, of course, I want to try my hardest each weekend, enjoy each weekend, and yeah, I wanted to fight for the podium every weekend.
It's really special to ride in my home GP. I live quite close here, and it's very special. A lot of people, a lot of fans are coming out, and it's the first year where I'm like fan favorite #1 here, and it's going to be a special weekend.
MX2 race 1. Jorge Prado fastest out of the blocks, pretty much like he has been all season long. And it was he who crossed the line to take his 13th Vauxhall shot. On board here with the GoPro of Mitch Evans in second for Honda 114, closely followed by Vial, Jago Geerts and Henry Jacobi, who was lucky to keep it on two wheels. Evans ran into a little bit of problem, Jacobi quickly into third. Evans back to fourth. Then fifth, the Jago Geerts came through on his Yamaha. Shortly after that, Evans was caught and passed by his fellow Australian, Jed Beaton, and quickly moved back down to sixth place. Thomas Olsen was next in line as well on the second of the factory Husqvarnas. Not the ideal start to race 1, but he did get a second wind later on in the race. Jed Beaton fell though from 4th place. He picked himself up. Michele Chervlin also lost the front end and fell. Evans though, boom, hit the ground hard. He would not finish the race. He crashed out of 5th place. A tough blow for the Aussie. Brent van Donnick did his best to hold off Jago Kietz, who was going round in circles at points, but he regrouped. He eventually got back on the case, found his way past the number 32 as he charged on towards an eventual 9th place. Matthijs Boeremé though was having a great ride, the 172, but he was caught in the latter stages by Jed Beaton, who took 6th away from the Frenchman with about 3 laps to go. Henry Jacobi was having a solid ride, much to the delight of the home fans, circulated in 3rd for the entire race. The F&H Kawasaki rider, a circuit ambassador here at Teufelstal, was no match though for the 28 of Tom Vial and his Red Bull KTM teammate Jorge Prado. The Spaniard cruising to his 16th race win of the season. Vial 2nd, Jacobi 3rd, Olsen and Vasson your top 5. Once again, Jorge Prado quickest out of the seat, out of the blocks. Turned tightly up the inside of his teammate for Fox Holeshot number 14. Brian Moreau fell though. Going into turn 2. It would get worse for the Frenchman later on in the race. Not the best of starts for Jacobi this time, queuing up just outside the top 10 on the opening lap. Darren Sinai was just a couple of places ahead of him on the number 57 bike at DRT Kawasaki, as he gave chase to Maxim Renault and Thomas Olsen. Olsen on the charge early on. Jacobi scythed his way up the inside of Sinai, moved himself into 9th. As Jed Beaton made a good start, was just hovering outside the top 5. Moved his way past Bas Varsen on the number 98 Hitachi KTM, as Jacobi started to get second wind. But maybe he was pushing just a little bit too hard. Darren Sinai went out with a mechanical. Tom Vial, another good start in 2nd, but he lost the front going through one of the right-handers, lost a couple of positions to Olsen and Jago Kietz. Picked himself back up in 4th, but then Olsen fell from 2nd, handing that position to Kietz on the Yamaha. Vial, though, managed to find his way back past the Belgian and into 2nd place. Varsen was having another solid ride. Jacobi, though, bit the dirt. He fell from 8th, was back down in 14th. And the red mist started to descend on the German. The two Huskies were side by side, but it was Olsen who blitzed past his teammate to move into 4th place. And then Jago Kietz went out with a technical issue. Tough blow for the Yamaha rider. Vial saved a near-off excursion, but that enabled the 172 of Matthijs Boeremé to close the door on the Honda 114 Motorsports machine. Big talking point of the race though, Henry Jacobi cleaned out his teammate Adam Sterry as they battled over 9th place. Sterry picked himself up, would eventually come home in 11th. But it was Jorge Prado who took race win number 17 ahead of Matthijs Boeremé and Tom Vial. Vial, his best ever finish in MX2, back on the podium again, and Boeremé, the first time visitor to the MX2 podium in his rookie season. Prado now leads Thomas Olsen by 44 points. Jago Kietz lost ground, but the smile said it all from both the French riders. Boeremé 3rd, Vial 2nd, but once again, Jorge Prado on the top step of the podium, this time in Germany.
My grandpa has a team already since I think about 25 years. Since 4 years I do the team management in cooperation. For the team it was really important to have Max in the team this year. Also for our sponsors it was a motivation to do maybe a little bit more.
That's actually where I started my career at this team, and when I was 2006 and 7. So now coming back here, it's quite a nice story actually.
The start of the season for our team was really difficult. Tom and Max get injured really early. They did not start at the GPs, so it was also really difficult for all members of the team. Now we are happy that both are back in the business and hopefully can score as much points as possible.
The knee injury in Argentina was really weird. It was not even like a mistake by riding. It just on the takeoff from the jump, the knee come out of the place, what is normally impossible. Even the doctors say it cannot happen normally, but the doctor have done a really good job. I could come back after 10 weeks, what is really fast. And I said, okay, I go to the first German race in Mögers to have the best preparation I can have for Teutschenthal. And then Sunday in the first race I had a big crash on the start. And then I had a new injury, like 2 broken ribs and a little back injury also. But broken rib you can ride. It's very painful, but it doesn't stop you from riding.
This is my first year in MXGP, and the transition is quite difficult for me because MXGP is a pretty strong class. I moved up because we got the ADAC MX Masters in Germany, and there I was riding also 450 last year, and this is why I moved completely up onto the 450. Yeah, in Acker in the second moto I got injured on my foot. I have to take a break for about 6 or 7 weeks. Then I start training again, and now I'm back for the German GP, for my home GP, and try to give my best here.
Teutschenthal is a really nice track. When you go up and down on where the spectators are, they're really close. So when you pass them, you can really feel the atmosphere. When they're cheering for you, you can hear them. Sometimes they're more loud than your bike. Because they're so close to the track, that makes it so special. I'm thinking about my future, yes. What I really enjoy doing is helping young riders in training and coaching, let's say. I already have now 3 riders what I'm helping. It's 2 from Germany, because Germany, when I will stop, there's Jacobi, but then it's nothing anymore. EMX, for example, young riders, they have the speed, but they're missing the experience, what I have, so I can help them, and that's actually my planning for the future.
Arminas Jasikonis hit the gate. As it dropped for MXGP Race 1, Glenn Koldenoff in the background stalled momentarily as he made it over the steels, but it was Tim Geiser who just edged out Julian Lieber for his second Foxhole shot of the season. On board here with Jeremy Seewer as he ran round the outside of the Belgian to move into 3rd place. Geiser then slipped up. He tipped over in the turn, so too then did Seewer, but he managed to hold on to that 2nd place just from the 33 Monster Energy Kawasaki of Lieber. These two put on a show for the fan zone. Behind them, 3 Yamahas, Tonus, Paulin and Fevre gave chase in 4th, 5th and 6th, but Geiser was out on his own once again. Jasikonis, doing his best to make up for that poor start, was on the charge. Fevre sensed the opportunity, moved up the inside of Paulin, the 2 went bar to bar, and this was for 5th place. Fevre leaned on Paulin. Paulin was having none of it. Kept his wheels just ahead of the 461. But for how much longer? Tonus was looking good in 4th once again though. Julian Lieber was being caught by the Swiss rider, and at the same time Fevre eventually found his way past Paulin to move into that 5th place. Lieber nudged Seewer aside to take over 2nd just after the halfway point of the race. but then the Monster Energy Kawasaki rider went down hard. An elbow injury would rule him out of race 2 and perhaps longer. With that, Arno Tonus was sitting in 3rd. Seawer was on course for 2nd until a last lap bobble about 7 corners from home allowed Tonus to go through into that 2nd place. The two would duke it out all the way to the finish line. Max Anstey was having a solid ride. He occupied 6th, but was caught eventually by his teammate, Glenn Coldenhoff. Coldenhoff came home in 6th, but Tim Geiser was imperious in race 1, despite that small mistake. And he went on to take win number 11 in MXGP race 1 in front of a packed crowd here at Teushenthal. No Tony Cairoli, no Jeffrey Hurlings, but Tim Geiser didn't mind that one little bit. But the Yamahas were a freight train behind. Tonus, Seawer, Fevre and Paulin running out the top 5. As Romain Fevre got squeezed by Gauthier Paulin, the Yamaha rider was sent tumbling to the dirt halfway down the start straight. It looked a tough impact, but the Frenchman was able to rejoin the race. Ivo Monticelli hard up the inside, but it was Tim Geiser who crossed the line for Vauxhall shot number 3. 2 in one weekend here in Germany. Seawer down the inside, just behind Geiser. Geiser bobbled, and so too did Seawer. Seawer fell down though. He would have to pick himself up. Came round at the end of the first lap with a lot of work to do. Gauthier Paulin was just moving into 5th place behind Anstey on the opening lap. Just ahead of him, Arno Tonus. Team HRC looked on as once again Tim Geiser was at the head of the field. This time though being chased by the number 41 of Pauls Jonas and Arno Tonus. Meanwhile, Jeremy Seawer found his way into 9th with that pass on Brian Bogers, as Jeremy Van Horebeke also made a move on the HRC rider. Van Horebeke would eventually come home in 9th for Honda SR Motor Blues. Romain Fevre, despite the crash, was still putting everything into race 2 as Arminas Jasikonis charged down the inside of Ivo Monticelli. Monticelli proving a very tough nut to crack though. Monticelli went down. That eventually paved the way for AJ to go through. The Lithuanian now up into 7th. Jeremy Seawer and Van Horebeke also found their way by the Italian. Seawer was a man in a hurry though, but so too was Tim Geiser. Jonas was 2nd in the race and on course for a podium. Arno Tonus rode his luck on more than one occasion under the watchful eye of the team boss. And on the final lap, Tonus under pressure for 3rd. Anstey and Paulin giving chase. Paulin was just off the podium, but he needed to pass Anstey to find his way onto the 3rd step. It was a decisive move from the Frenchman on the Brit. And all of a sudden, they were looking at a double Wilvo Yamaha podium. Anstey circulated to finish in 5th place ahead of his teammate Glenn Coldenhoff, but once again, Tim Geiser, the man of the moment in MXGP, Team HRC and Honda crossing the line for a 12th win of the season. Jonas came home 2nd, Tonus 3rd, Paulin 4th, Anstey was 5th. It wasn't quite as close as it was a week ago, but Geiser rounding out ahead of Tonus and Paulin. Geiser now 83 points clear of Tony Cairoli, Seawer 69 further back. But look how tight it was for Tonus and Paulin. Those two are now tied on points in the championship. Geiser all smiles here in Germany. Tonus, 5 podiums in a row now for him. Great to see Paulin back up there as well, enjoying his spot in the limelight.
So with that, we bring a weekend of hard rutting to a close here in Teushenthal. The MXGP of Germany saw Tim Geiser extend his championship lead over Tony Cairoli to 83 points with another display of controlled dominance. While Arno Tonus's renaissance continued with a 5th consecutive podium, where he was joined by teammate Gauthier Paulin. Jorge Prado continues to rule MX2 with an iron fist, making light of the conditions to make it 9 GP wins out of 9 raced in 2019. TKO struggled as the Spaniard stretched his championship lead to 44 points, and it was also a GP to forget for Jago Hertz, Ben Watson and Mitch Evans. Now it's time to pack up, passports at the ready for the long trip to the MXGP of Indonesia in Palembang. This, a voyage into the unknown at the first of the Indonesian double-header in 2 weeks' time. Auf Wiedersehen!